Hey guys, Jobin here. I want to talk to you about this knife I really like. This is the Ganzo model 711. Now, it is fairly obviously, if you keep up with the big name brands, basically a copy of the Benchmade Mini Onslaught. There are a few differences, which I'll probably point out towards the end of the video, but I just want to talk to you a bit about the knife on its own, things I like and don't like about it. Overall, I think Ganzo's quality is really coming along. I mean, the fit and finish on this is very, very good. And, you know, when I first got this knife, I kind of fell in love with it pretty much instantly. I had trouble putting it down. It's really interesting looking. It's definitely got a very unique look aesthetically. And it's a lot of fun to play with. But how does it function as a tool? Is it comfortable? Does that work? It's pretty good. Now, let's see, a few general specs. Measuring from the end of the handle to the tip of the blade is about 3.5 inches, and there's about 3.25 of effective cutting edge. Starting about there, going up to the end. The handle out in its 440C blade steel. The handle is G10 with a very nice little sort of ridged pattern cut into it, which I really like. It's actually one of the nicer features of the knife. It doesn't tear up your pockets like a lot of peel plied G10 can, but it does provide a little bit of traction and it looks nice. Got pillar construction with full steel liners. They're not skeletonized, but the weight of the knife still isn't too bad. It's about standard, 5 or so ounces for a knife this size and with this sort of construction. The pocket clip is a pretty nice one, and they went the extra mile and milled out a little pocket for it in the scale, so it sits down deep in there. A lot of other inexpensive cheap knives, including some I like, but it's just cheaper to do this way. They'll just bolt the pocket clip to the outside of the G10 scale and call it done. Ganzo just took that little extra step, which I think is nice. Unfortunately, though, there aren't holes or a milled out section on the left hand side, so it is a right hand side only pocket clip. Somewhat curiously, I think I can show you in here if I can get the angle just right. It's a little awkward. I have my camera in a different position than normal. Everything feels backwards. Yeah, see? There's actually holes drilled in the opposite liner, but they don't go all the way through the scale. I'm not sure what's up with that. I found the handle very comfortable. There's a deep index area for your index finger, and the curve of the back of the handle fits nicely into the palm of your hand. And that curve and that indentation give it a very secure feeling. Your hand isn't liable to slide in either direction much. You can also, if you want a grip a little bit closer to the blade, you can put your index finger ahead of that, and that works fine too for getting less leverage disadvantage if you need to do like a hard push cut like that. One little thing that does bug me a bit is there's a slight oddity to the way the blade is ground. And let's see, need a little pointer. If I can get the lighting angle right, you should be able to see it. Okay. A little hard to tell in the screen of my video camera, but hopefully I got this right. Okay, so here's the flat section here, and you can see a grind line where it transitions to a different angle right up there, and another one up there. So there's this little triangular area right there, which is actually a slope transitioning from the flat grind of the blade, or the grind of the blade, to the flat stock of the tang, where it goes into the handle. And that makes sharpening that little tiny section of blade there kind of weird, because you have a significant change in width in a very small area. I basically decided not to bother and actually just blunted that portion for mine because it was a pain to deal with. One other little minor point is, if you ever whittle with your knives, this might not be quite right for you, because I found, I thought I had a block of wood around here that I could really demonstrate with. Where'd it go? And it disappeared, sorry about that. Just use this piece of cardboard for demonstration. Obviously you don't need to use much force when doing cardboard, but you get the idea. So if you come up to cut something hard like this, I generally find myself putting my thumb on the spine of the blade and helping to push off to get it through hard material. And at least for me, in the grips I use, that tends to end up with my thumb coming right down on that little projection there. It's not sharp enough to really hurt you, but it's uncomfortable. And if you move your thumb forward, it gets to the progressively narrower parts of the swedge up here. And if you move it back, you're not necessarily really getting the advantage of that kind of push. It's a kind of minor thing. It's not going to be a big deal for most people. But if you do cut hard materials with your knives using grip or anything like that, you might want to pick one that has a flat spine on the blade. Overall, it cuts quite nicely, and I really like this general type of blade shape where you have some straight portion and then a nice distinct curve there while still having a usable tip for penetration. It's just very versatile, very classic. I mean, it looks kind of fancy up here, but when you get right down to it, this is a very basic, reliable blade shape for cutting purposes. And it's pretty much full flat ground. The knife opens and closes very smoothly. It's one of the reasons I couldn't put it down. I will say, right out of the box, it was a little bit stiff, but basically I fiddled with it for an afternoon, and now it is silky, silky smooth. Just really amazing. Lockup is extremely good. Ganzo's been improving this. For example, you guys remember this guy, the Ganzo 704. In my original review of this knife, I noted that while it wasn't a functional problem, because the lock was extremely secure and would withstand spine wax and stuff, it did have up and down play, and I said that seems to be very common with Ganzo knives. They seem to have kind of stepped up their game in that area, because the last batch of 704s I inspected, it went from maybe 3/4 of them having a little bit of up and down play to, I don't know, maybe 85% of them being completely rock solid with no detectable wiggle at all. And the same seems to be true for these, and there are other newer ones that they've come out with. The lockup is really very impressive. Overall, I think this is a really fun knife. It's fast becoming one of my favorites, really. I mean, it's great as a toy, and it can do practical work as well. So overall, I'm very pleased with it, and Ganzo is continually going up in my estimation as they come out with new models. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this look at the knife. This is Jobin signing off, saying, remember where your knife is. Oh, you know what? I got talking and I forgot to mention the ways this differs from the Benchmade Mini Onslaught. There might be some slight differences in overall size, but I think they're very, very close. But one of the main things you'll notice if you look at pictures of the Mini Onslaught is that it has an opening hole design, and this has dual thumb studs. Also, of course, the blade steel is different. The mini onslaught's 154 cm, if I recall correctly. This is 440C, as I mentioned in the review. They also have a different pivot screw arrangement. Ganzo tends to use this kind where there's a sort of central nut that's threaded from both sides and has a screw on each side of the handle. On the mini onslaught, Benchmade's using one where it's more like this, really, where you have a pivot pin with that slides in, and then a single screw that comes in from the other. This is from an Enlon, but you get the idea. Also, the pocket clip is different, and I have to say I think it looks better on the Ganzo, because the mini onslaught has a sort of metal plate that goes over basically the entire area currently covered by my thumb, and then extends down to form the pocket clip. I always thought that looked a little weird looking. And maybe it works fine, but you have this big old shiny metal plate right at the top there. Thought that was odd. I really like the way they did the pocket clip on this knife. Also, the mini onslaught has smooth scales, and as mentioned, the Ganzo has a texture on them. I think that's all the major points, at least all the ones I've been able to gather from looking at photos and videos of the mini onslaught. I don't have one, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison at this time. Alright guys, that's it. Take it easy now.